This is a video about one of the best fragrances I have smelled in years. So stay tuned, I want to tell you all about it. As we get going, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. I've got about 3 videos coming out a week as well as shorts and things like that. We just broke 2,000 subs, but according to my analytics, like over 90% of you are not subscribed. So please click subscribe so you can catch the new content. Also, let me know down in the comments, what are some fragrances that you've been picking up lately that maybe not a lot of people are talking about, like the one I'm going to mention today, and maybe I'll be able to pick some of those up. All right, so the fragrance I'm talking about, first of all, I want to talk about a niche fragrance by Nishane, Nishane or Nishane, the fragrance Ani or Ani, depending on how you pronounce it, A-N-I. I smelled it a couple weeks ago out at a department store, and I absolutely loved it. It opens up with this beautiful vanilla with some lemon or some citrus that reminded me almost like a vanilla Smarties. Or I've even heard someone say it reminds you of like lemon meringue pie or something like that. But it's beautiful vanilla with a sweet citrus right off the top. And I thought, man, that's interesting, because I thought this was a spicy ginger fragrance. And so I smelled it. I was loving the opening. And then as 10-15 minutes passed, I went back to it several times, and these spices started to come out. Ginger and pepper and some other, just spices that mix very well with sweetness. There's some spices that don't mix great with sweetness, but these kind of warm spices mixing with that vanilla was absolutely beautiful. And so it became this sweet, spicy vanilla, and I love vanilla. I love sweet and spicy fragrances. This is right in my wheelhouse, but something about it was just mesmerizing. Of course, Nishane, even for the 50 ml, you're going to pay a couple $100. At the department store, I think it was about $300. And so I wanted to know, is there a clone? And I can tell you, yes, there is a clone by Lattafa. And I've had great experience with Lattafa. I've got about 15 of their fragrances or more, maybe 20 of their fragrances now. They have a clone called Nasheet. So think Nishane Nasheed. This is a clone of Nishane Ani, and it is a very, very close clone. Now, I haven't done a side-by-side because it was maybe 4 days before whenever I smelled the niche to the time that this came in the mail, because I bought it that very night. But I can tell you this is so close, and other reviewers I've seen who are doing a side-by-side say, yes, this is incredibly, incredibly close. And here's the shocking thing. The development of this fragrance is just like the Nishane, as in it starts with that citrus sweet vanilla like a white Smarties or like a lemon meringue pie or something like that. And then about 5 or 10 minutes in, it starts to shift dramatically, and that ginger starts to come out, and that, I think it's a black pepper, but I haven't looked at the notes, but some sort of a black or pink pepper or something starts to come out mixing with that ginger and that vanilla. And what you end up getting then is a sweet, spicy vanilla fragrance. It's a pretty complex, spicy vanilla fragrance. Very much mass-pleasing, nothing offensive about this. Just beautiful, sweet, spicy vanilla fragrance. And that's exactly what you get out of this one. I was so pleased whenever I was on the way home. I opened the box in my car and I smelled it, within 10 minutes of getting the package. So I'm very, very pleased with this one in the fragrance profile, but the performance is tricky because I think I'm going nose blind to this fragrance, because I'll tell you, maybe I'm overspraying, but I'll spray 6 or 7 sprays and I'll get whiffs of it for an hour or two, and then it's just like it's gone. But 2 times now, I've sprayed it on before bed, and I'll spray it, on my arms so that my arms are under the covers while I'm asleep. This is how I sometimes test longevity. And then whenever I wake up in the morning and I take the covers off, absolutely Nasheet, this clone of Ani, is still on my arms, 8-9 hours later. And so I think what's happening is the sweetness of this fragrance profile, because it's very noticeable. It's not loud, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, but I think my brain is tuning it out. I'm going nose blind. I think that this is a good performer. 8+ hours, at least, I can tell you for a fact. 2 times now, sprayed it on at night, went to bed, and 7, 8 hours later, 9 hours later, it's still there before I get in the shower. I just want to say that it's a little mysterious. I'm not exactly sure why things are as they are with this one, but it's not the first time I've had a fragrance do this, where it seems to disappear, but then you test it in another kind of situation and it's very long lasting. So I would definitely still recommend it. I got this for less than $30, I think, or maybe it was right at $30 on Triple Traders. And it is so close to Ani. I believe the performance is pretty good. I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you have this one. It is definitely one that I would recommend. Here's the thing though, it's not a crazy loud projecting room filling fragrance. It's much more of a skin scent type of fragrance. Even whenever I'm saying it would disappear after a couple hours, that's not really true. What I mean is I'm no longer getting whiffs of it, but when I go back and put my nose to skin, it's absolutely still there as a skin scent. And so again, I think that's part of it, is it doesn't have a massive sillage or massive projection beyond that 1 or 2 hour mark, but it's still a skin scent that lasts for a very long time. So it's a personal fragrance, one that you can enjoy yourself, although for the first probably 1 to 2 hours, everyone around you is going to get to enjoy it as well. This fragrance profile is amazing. I only own a few niche fragrances. I've only bought a handful my whole life. I just usually don't justify that kind of cost, but I may actually have to pick up the OG of this one. I like it that much. So this is, again, Lattafa Nasheed. Beautiful, one of the best fragrance DNAs that I've smelled in years. Get your nose on it. Go out and sample the Nishane. If you got a couple of $100 to throw down, go ahead and get the original. You will not be disappointed. A lot of people say this is Nishane's best fragrance, and I think this clone gets very, very close. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.